I'm Kimmie Rose, and this is your weekly vibe and mantra from July 28th through August the 4th, 2020 AD. And this is going to be a week that is a real interesting week. It has a lot to do with self-preservation and really getting rid of those thoughts that want to bring us down, that want to take us outside of ourselves. And instead of looking on the outside, we're asked to really look within, and sometimes that's a really hard thing to do. The reason is because most of us, when we look within, we look inside, and we see all the bad things. I did this, I did that, I'm not happy with myself, I feel dark, I feel different, I'm not as clear as everybody else, and I don't fit in, and all those things. You look at those negative things. And so how do you stay in self-preservation in a world that has so many judgments, has so many different views? Especially kids, I see that they get pulled in so many directions. How do you stay in that without stepping outside of you? Well, one of the things that I've been told by many people is go in. And when you go in, you just kind of dive into yourself. And I thought this was like a perfect space to be, because this is an area like if you're in nature and you're just sitting and you're looking out and you're looking at the clouds. Or maybe you're looking at the trees. Or maybe it's nighttime and you're looking at the campfire. Whatever you might be doing. Then look at something natural first, and then look. And one of the cards in the tarot, as most of you know, I love to teach tarot, because tarot is a powerful way to look at the soul's journey on this earth plane. And when I teach the tarot, I always take people through that journey, and then I will often say, now locate yourself there. And if you can go there and then you can work through those stages, you can allow yourself to journey forward. So with the Hermit card, which is a great card, there is a hermit, and he sits and stands. He has his cloak on, and he's holding his lantern, and he's looking at it. And it represents taking a deep look within at your light, and knowing that when you're looking at that light, that it takes the darkness to see the light, and it takes the light to see the darkness. Both come from one another. That is a scientific fact. But when you're looking within, you can get your mind real quiet, and you can just feel your body, your breath. You can just feel yourself in the centered energy within. And you actually can feel your mind getting clear. And all you can see and feel is that energy inside. And that's the key to not looking for those things that you pick at. You want to pick at things, you want to pull things apart. And that's the way to clear your mind, is like that hermit stage. So if you get the Hermit card, it's very important to meditate. And it's very important to go in. Dive into yourself. Don't be afraid. Don't pull apart things, because we all make mistakes. It's part of learning. Without hot, we would not know cold. Without cold, we would not know hot. And without wrong, we would not know right. And without right, we would not know wrong. But what's in the middle? Usually that's where you are most of the time, in the middle. You're not totally on the end of right or wrong. And if you are, you want to get out of that space really quick. That's a lesson that I learned. I always work so hard and trying to keep myself in that right space, how people see me, what I did. And then the minute something went into that wrong space, I was like heavy on the people around me. Like it's a big, heavy thing. And you notice more, and I'm gonna tell you, you notice it more, and then you deflect it more, and you call it to yourself more, and that's exactly the way people treat you. Because that's what you're putting out there. Energy flows where you direct it. So, if you're sitting on that stage, like I did, all of a sudden it was like one thing, and it was like, ooh, this is really not good, and this is how I'm being seen, and this is how I see myself, and then I thought, well, if I talk about it, and really it was more about, let's just let this go. But not me, I'm going to talk about it, make sure everybody's cool. Hey, I know I made a mistake, and are you okay with me? I still want to stay over here. But it was my way of coming back right now, as I can talk to you, to here, and saying, in the midst of knowing that you come from the light, you're also human, and you come here to live and learn. Temptations are there, but always know it's a new moment. And where you start with now. And now is a good place. It's a very good place to be. And so, don't put people on pedestals. Don't throw a lot of expectations on them. Don't do it to yourself, because when they come off that, or you come off of it, it's going to feel really heavy. And don't put yourself then all the way in the heaviness, because if you stay in the heaviness, it'll feel heavier and heavier, and your body will feel it, and before you know it, you're totally crippled. And it is a challenge, but to know that you can always take yourself to that space to clear is a good feeling. So if you're developing right now and you're trying to kind of keep yourself out of that deep stuff, that you immerse yourself in, just close your eyes and go now to where you are now and know all that stuff. It doesn't exist anymore because it's a new moment. And where you create from that moment is what is important. You're more conscious. You are clearer because you're creating from this moment. And when you do that, you wake up. And things feel a lot easier. You're not creating more and more and more. And the mischief is a choice. It's just a choice that you make. And sometimes we create mischief so we can learn. Sometimes it's thrown at us because we need to learn something, and sometimes it's just fun. But the most important thing is having a conscious of knowing, the most important rule that I think that is important to teach is doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. And if you are setting someone in a place of total judgment, and you can't forgive, you can't see even a tiny bit of light and love, then I would say look at yourself. Look at yourself deeper and ask yourself, what is it about that person? And what is it that you have to see within you? Don't beat yourself up. Don't feel that person's pain. Just ask yourself, why do I have to be so hard? And someone else, would I want someone to be that way to me? Probably. You probably are a person that sits by a lot of rules, and you expect people to act in a way that's not really easy, because you don't really understand. If you don't understand what they're going through, how can you understand really how they should be? How can you understand what would it take to help them? Do you think if someone's not being good to themselves, that you not being good to them, you think that's going to make it harder for them to be good to themselves? Probably. But the most important thing is see that you're not being good to yourself, because you're holding on to that negative, and that negative never feels good. This week's mantra is, as I look within, I am directed to my own clarity and light. As I look within, I am directed to my own clarity and light. As I look within, I am directed towards my own clarity and light. And with that, I wish you a really good week, and hope that you will explore how to really go in, try it. It works. There's so many points you can use, whether it be the clouds or the trees or anything. But remember, you're worth it. And if you would like to talk to me for a reading, you can call 734-854-1514, or you can go to Lite, theway.com. And you can also go over to Kimmie and download the app. And please sign up for Lite the Way University. Thank you. Have a really good week. And may that light shine through you, within you, and around you. Namaste. Peace.
It's just forming some chords and some walls. I'm static without the ends, and every breath of hers was a thorn in his eye, and every petal's blushing red. It's on my fingertips, and my electric lights becoming